Hi everybody, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I'm going to attempt to make homemade macaroni and cheese. I already have a recipe on my channel, but today I'm just going to kind of show you how I'm going to wing it. I have, if you've watched my couponing videos, we got some of this jalapeno cheddar cheese. So I'm going to grate up a little bit of that, and I also have this Gruyere cheese. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it kind of has a smoky taste to it, and some sharp cheddar. So I'm going to grate up just a little bit of this, and a little bit of this one, and a lot of this one, and just kind of show you how I'm going to wing it together and throw it all together. Alright, here's my cheddar cheese that's going to go on top. This is going to be some cheesy macaroni and cheese. There's the little bit of the Gruyere cheese. This is about a half a cup of the jalapeno cheese, and this is a lot of the cheddar cheese to go in it. If I'm going to take the time to make macaroni and cheese, it's going to be cheesy. Alright, I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and I put my casserole dish on a cookie sheet lined with foil in case any of it boils over, and I have it greased with butter because it does make cleanup easier. I've taken a couple of tablespoons of butter that I'm going to melt in the microwave, and then I'm going to pour some panko breadcrumbs in there to soften it up, and that's going to be our topping. I have a pan of water that I've salted, and I'm going to bring to the boil, and these are the noodles that I'm going to use. They're the penne noodles. And I won't cook these long at all because me and my son does not like soggy noodles. It's gross to us. So I will just throw them in the water, let them boil maybe 2 minutes, and then drain them and leave them sitting there till I get it ready to mix in with my sauce, because this will cook a little bit in the oven and they'll soften right on up. Here's the melted butter, and I'm taking panko breadcrumbs. And maybe about a cup. Stir that around, and we're going to set this aside to put that on the top. Yep, let's put some parsley flakes in there. Make it look pretty. And that butter will help these to toast up, and it'll taste real good. Alright, now let me set this aside. Get my noodles in the water, and then we will start on our cream sauce. Alright, while my noodles are cooking in my big saucepan, over medium-high heat, I've got about 3 tablespoons of butter in there. I'm going to let that melt, and then we'll add our flour to it. And I added about 2 cups of these noodles, penne noodles. Alright, I can chop it in half. They're still real firm, but see, you can mash them. So these are done enough in my book because they're going to cook more, so let me drain them, and we're just going to leave them sitting at the sink. I'm not making really that much tonight. You know, it's kind of getting the end of the week. Need to use up some stuff before it goes bad. So this is going to be a ton of different kinds of cheese macaroni. But I'll link my other recipe that has the measurements. Now I'm going to start adding my flour. I'm going to add around 3 tablespoons of flour at first. Okay, that's going to be enough. Now you want to keep this moving because you don't want it to burn, but we want it to cook for about a minute to get off that raw flour taste. Hang on, I'm going to get my other whisk that gets all in the corners. Switch that whisk for a minute. But we just want to let that flour taste get cooked out of here so it don't taste gummy. And let me add just a little bit more butter. Loosened it up just a little bit. Now I'm not going to add my milk real slow. I'm just going to add it all at once. Because I do good with getting the lumps out of it. So I'm adding right now 2 cups of milk. We're going to whisk like crazy. And once it comes up to a boil, that's how thick, that's how you'll be able to tell the thickness of it. But until then, just whisk and whisk and whisk. You don't want any lumps. And once that I see the lumps are out of it, I will start adding my seasonings to it. Make sure you get all around the pan, around the edges. And I like my homemade macaroni and cheese to start off being a little bit on the soupy side. So you got a little bit of cream sauce when you eat it, because a lot of the noodles will absorb a lot of it. So I can tell all the lumps are gone. So now I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and I cook with kosher salt. Not going to add that much salt because the cheeses are salty. Of course, you got to have black pepper. I like lots of it. And then of course, you know I have to add parsley flakes. And then some paprika. And we're going to whisk. And if this gets too thick, we can always add some more milk. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Shake it up. Gives it a good taste. And a little bit of my Louisiana hot sauce. Okay, we're to a boil. We're really going to whisk. Make sure nothing sticks. I'm going to cut the heat down to medium. And I am going to add a little bit more milk. This is thickening that real nice, but the cheese will also thicken it up. Add just a little bit more. Bring it back to the bowl. Now while I'm waiting on this to come back to the bowl, I know I'm adding a lot of cheese, but I always add a couple of slices of Kraft, the single slice cheese, the American. To me, this melts so creamy, and it helps with the cheesy taste. You don't have to do this. I like to. Let that just stand in there for a minute to melt. Start whisking. Oops, I'm making a mess. Alright, now I'm going to turn the heat down just even a little bit more. It's a little bit below medium. And I'm going to start adding in some cheeses. Now, I'm also going to add in a little bit of this Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago cheeses. This is just helps with the taste. Just sprinkle in a little bit of it. Might even sprinkle some more of that on the top of it. So now I'm going to add in the jalapeno cheese and the Gruyere cheese. Stir that in. Add just little bits at a time. Let that get mixed in real good. So we want our cheeses to melt. Alright, let me add in a little bit more. Whisk this in. Make sure you get all the edges of the pan. Alright, let me add in some more. Go ahead and add it all in. Have you ever been watching a cooking show on TV and the chef is stirring everything and you see something stuck to the side of the pan and it just kind of gets your OCD and you're like, scrape the pan, scrape the pan. I don't know if that bothers anybody else, but it does me. I know that's silly. Alright, once our cheeses gets melted, then we'll move over to the other side of my kitchen where my pan's waiting. Remember, I have a teeny tiny kitchen. You really want to make sure that you stir and stir so that it doesn't stick. Keep it moving. Alright, let me let it boil just a second. Alright, now I'm going to turn off the heat and remove it from the heat and move it to the other side. And give it one good whisk before I switch to a spoon. Now I'm going to stir in my noodles. I know that looks like a lot of sauce, but it's going to be good. Make sure you stir it up real good. Let all that sauce get down in the nooks and crannies and inside of the noodles. Soak up all that goodness. See, I can tell with my spoon there's no lumps or anything. Okay, now we're going to add this to our buttered casserole. Scrape out all that goodness. Now let's just add some more cheese. Going to add a little bit more of the Parmesan, Romano, and Asiago, or sometimes I just use just plain old Parmesan. Don't want that much, just enough to get a good little cheesy crust, because we got some cheddar cheese to add to it. Alright, now I'm going to sprinkle on my butter infused panko breadcrumbs with some parsley. I might not use all of this. I might use it all. We'll just have to see. Now, I should have, if I had some time, I would have fried up a couple of pieces of bacon and just added that to the top of it too. Because to me, bacon is so good in macaroni and cheese. Now, I like a lot of the crispy top. So now I'm going to put this in 400-degree oven for about maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25, until the top gets all kind of toasty and it's all bubbling all the way through. But I'll time it and let you know how long it took. My macaroni and cheese stayed in the oven 20 minutes, maybe 21, but I don't know. Can you see it still bubbling? And the panko crumbs are all nice and toasty. So I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes before we dig into it. So right now it's just bubbling away. Now I'm going to get me a little bit of this all kind of cheese, macaroni and cheese, and take a bite. Let me try to show you how cheesy. And it's really not overpowering with sauce or anything because it cooked all up in the noodles. So now let me try a bite. This is real good. You can kind of taste the smokiness, a little bit of the smokiness from that Gruyere cheese. I really can't tell about the jalapeno cheese. I can tell there's a little bit of kick in there, but it's not like right now overpowering spicy, but I've only just taken one bite. So I think this is pretty good with all them different types of cheese and stuff in it. So anyway, I hope you enjoy.